Hey, April. Hey, guys, it's April Henry again, a little confused. I was deep into my writing world. Welcome to my 42nd Facebook Live. You can watch all my previous ones on my website, aprilhenry.com, or on my YouTube channel, which is also called April Henry. My plan is to do these every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until I run out of topics. Um, I've been talking about books lately, although I do have a cool rash guard on. I don't know if I've worn it before. It it's one that always makes me feel like a superhero. So I've been talking about books. Okay, I got this out of Goodwill a few years ago, probably 20 years ago. It's two books by an author named Samuel Shellabarger called Captain from Castile and Prince of Foxes. And I think Prince of Foxes, especially, is one book that helped make me be a writer. I fell in love with these books when I was a teenager, super dramatic, historical. Uh, well researched, probably for the time period. They were published in the 40s. I mean, you probably be much easier to do research now. Um, but those books just transported me, and the characters were complicated, and sometimes they did things uh, that you wish they hadn't, and but you watched in fascination. So I saw this book in my bookcase, and I think I'm going to read it next after I finish Bel Canto. So tomorrow I'll be talking about how I stole from myself to create my first character, but today I'm talking about questions I ask myself when I'm beginning a book. So, some of the questions I ask myself at the beginning, especially about plot, are what are some of the things that my characters could do in search of their goal? And what are some bad things that could happen to them? Now, since I'm writing a book right now set during a blizzard at a creepy old hotel, it's kind of easy to think of some bad things that could happen to them. Someone could run out in the snow and freeze to death. When we were actually literally trapped at a creepy old hotel during a blizzard, there were bobcat tracks outside of our window. Um, I spent a day last week reading about the children's blizzard, which was blizzard in 1888 that caught kids on their way home from school, and they got terribly lost. The snow was so thick you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And I think I'll use some stuff like that. And then I asked myself, not only can I make things worse, but can I make some of the bad things happen and arise naturally from what the character does? So if a character rushes out freaked out of the house into the snow and dies, that is a natural reaction to something that they did. It's not that it was imposed on them. It's a choice that they made that turned out badly. I asked myself if I can have a ticking clock or a deadline. In this case, I think the book is naturally just going to take place over the weekend, and that in this case, the ticking clock is the blizzard ebbing and people being back able to come back. So it's not a bad ticking clock. Actually, it's a good ticking clock, and that they can be helped when the weather eases. Um, I asked myself, how can I raise the stakes? So I'm going to make it that at the end, everyone in this hotel is on the verge of being killed rather than just one person. Um, could I make things worse by adding a force of nature, an illness, or an injury? Well, I definitely already have the snowstorm. Um, and I could make it that somebody gets hurt. I don't think I'm going to make it that anybody gets sick. Uh, is there a character I could hurt or kill off so that the reader is more fearful for the rest? And yes, I am going to have somebody die in the next couple of chapters. At least it's going to look like they're dead. Is there a talismanic object that can be mentioned along the way and then play an important part in the climactic scene? Like on my desk right now, I have this dollar that my mom sent me 20 years ago, and that could almost be like if I carried that in my wallet, that could be a talismanic object that I would look at and think about. It would remind me of my mother. Um, some questions I ask myself about character are, what are the character's strengths and how does it get them into trouble? Because a strength taken to an extreme can be a weakness. Just like a person who's an extreme extrovert is great until you get tired of them being extroverted. You know, they are always on, always talking to others, and there's never an off switch. Um, What special skills does the character have that could be useful later? Right now, I am making notes of things that I have said in passing about somebody. Like in passing, somebody mentions is they're a really good mimic. And then I'll be thinking to myself as the book goes along, is there a point where someone could use another person's voice and mimic them and make somebody think something's happening that's not happening? Um, I have a character who faints at the sight of blood, and so I'm definitely going to play around with that where she gets afraid, she faints, and people look like people are afraid that she's died. Um, I have a character who can't swim, and I'm going to have to put him in the water. So I think about what are the character's external and internal goals. And my character's external goal in this book is to survive, but her internal goal is that she wants to be a better actor than she is. And so she's going to learn how to do that, or maybe learn to accept that you always feel like you're doing a bad job and you just soldier on anyway. Um, I ask myself, what are they afraid of, and how can I use that? And right now, I was looking at this list before I started my video, and I thought, right now I don't have anybody who's deathly afraid of anything, and I think I might need to have a character be afraid, and then have them have to confront that fear. I Most of my characters do have secrets, so I like all my characters to have a secret because I feel like it makes things interesting when these secrets are revealed. And then again, that tip I've relayed before, what are the 10 things that would arouse the most emotion in my character? And I probably need to make a list of those and think about whether there are any scenes I could have where Nell is feeling a very strong emotion. And then I ask myself, how can my main character grow by the end of the book? And in this case, I want her not only to be a better actress, but also feel more self confident. So those are some of the things that I think about when I'm starting a book. Tomorrow I'll be talking about how I stole for myself to create my first character. If you have any questions you want to ask, just go ahead and ask them and I'll get them to them in a later video. And I found a bunch more talks that I have given in the past or ideas about talks or articles. So I think I can keep this up for at least another 2 weeks. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.